Jay Dilla was one of the most prolific producers. He's one of the best to ever do it.
I mean, you ask any producer that matters, and they're all gonna give it up real quick, like, period.
He influenced like a whole generation of young kids, Kanye West, to the Pharrells, to Premier, Pete Rock.
The stuff that he's done with like Badu, with Common, with Busta, with Q-Tip, with Slum Village, you know, his solo stuff, Rough Draft, all that stuff was groundbreaking music, man.
Like from the trap to the house to the hip hop, like every genre has been touched.
His production methods, his ear, his inner ear, the way he heard music was unlike any other producer ever.
Of mine. I'm Maureen Yancey, mother of Jay Dilla.
What's up? J-Rock right here.
This is Jay Dilla's Crate Digger.
Special edition. That's right, in the D, baby.
A lot of them don't know that Dilla produced a lot of their favorite picks. I found that out 2 weeks ago, even again, at a school in Birmingham, Beverly Hills area. And the kids knew a lot of the songs, but they thought that the artist had written and done the music. And a lot of that was Dilla, but he didn't care.
My brother's an old school producer, like how you got your Quincy Jones, where he don't gotta be in the video. Like, hey, I produced it. You know what I mean? He played the background. Like, he didn't want that spotlight. He just had a love for music and just wanted people to feel it. He didn't need for people to know that, oh yeah, I produced this joint for Shannon, or I did that for Busta. Like, I would have to find out about tracks that he did. Like, I would hear about it. Like, yo, I didn't even know you did that track. Like, what? Like, yo.
He never talked about it. If he was in big magazines or newspapers, I would find out from people calling me saying, I got a magazine and your son is in it. And I'd say, he is? I said, really? He said, yeah, you don't have one? I didn't know, because he didn't tell me. And so I'd ask him, James, you in a magazine? Oh, yeah. And that was it. It didn't mean anything because it wasn't the music.
The records that I had with him, I worked with him on Right About Now and then mixtape records and everything, but for that records on my album, he insisted on, we didn't work together until I came to Detroit, until I had to come to Detroit and be here for a couple of days and really soak it in. It wasn't just sending the tracks, and it was a real collaboration.
This is the Light remix, Common, right here. I mean, like, you can dig through it. There you go, right there.
Dollar, clean as hell. Should be like $16.82 in LA.
Sweet, so there's another one for you. Boom.
Whip me with a strap.
Yep, this is a Ghostface strap.
Yeah.
Right here. 2 beats. This is Donuts too.
Yeah.
There's 2 beats on here. Yeah. This is a good one though. One night we went digging, me, him, and Madlib went digging, and Q-Tip met up with us. That was pretty crazy, because Q-Tip was like hella tall and had shoulder pads on. And we was like, yo, Tip got shoulder pads on? Yo, what's up with Tip, man? What's up, boy? Yeah, that was cool. I don't know Tip like that, so it was just cool. Like, I'm a Tribe Called Quest fan, so like to walk in the record store and like, to be walking in with Jay Dilla and Madlib and meeting Q-Tip, like I got an automatic pass right there, Opening this door of,
well, this ain't even all of them. This is...
They don't need to know that.
Drum roll.
Woo! Oh, that's from home.
Detroit, right?
Damn.
Dilla came from a musical household of all genres of music, okay? I studied classical music and sang opera and classical music. We all sang gospel music because everyone in the family was in church choirs. His father composed and wrote also, played upright bass, sang jazz, and traveled, playing halftime for the Globetrotters for several years also with the Ivies did. You don't even think about what your child might be when they grow up. You certainly don't think that they're going to be a producer or anything like that. You're looking at a kid that you grew up in hoping that's going to play with cars, trucks, and all type of things as a child, but that was not Dilla. From the very beginning until the end, it was always all music.
Yeah, Jay.
Let's see what we got right here. We in Jay Dilla's storage unit right now. We're gonna see what he got here, Got that weather report. Oh, he got it in order right there for you. He's like, I got both weather reports. You didn't think Jay Dilla would have this right here. At least I didn't think he would have
But he's
this.
on, this is one of his mixes.
Yes, it is.
See?
That's one of the.
Told y'all.
I didn't think he would even own that
Told y'all
still.
was gonna.
See, I've never seen the actual cover for this. I have a promo. I got the promo.
old stuff.
Dilla definitely touched some. He touched Ahmad Jamal for.
He did.
For what you call it, Stakes is High.
Yep, yeah,
This is not the album, but
That's not the album.
But this is a good album though.
That's definitely one of the albums you might want.
We would take him record shopping, and he put the little 45s in his little arm because it fit right through the hole in the middle, and he'd carry them as many as he could get on his arm and sit in Harmony Park with his Fisher-Price record player and play spin records, and people enjoyed it. Even then, he had a knack for like James Brown type of music and soul music. It interested him then.
Melodies and memories, like just going there, I even when I go there now, it's like, dang, that's crazy. Like back in the day, my brother was walking through here at record shopping, looking for, new sounds.
He would come in, like I say, almost every day for years. And one day I can remember, he was always on the R&B, soul, jazz, he would stack up records every day. Not only did he spend money, because that's cool, hey, this guy's back again. He's gonna drop $300 to $500, But not only that, I didn't look at that as the money. Just to have him in here, even if he found one record, he was just a cool person to have and talk to. And I remember one day he was on the rock side of the store. And he's laying on the floor, and I go over there. I go, Jay, what the hell are you doing over here on this side? And he's laughing. He goes, man, he says, I've been through all that R&B and jazz. I got every album you guys got.
We spent a lot of time the last couple of years of his life in Pasadena getting records. And of course, everybody at Stones Row was going there because we try to beat Mad Lib out. We leave really early in the morning and try to beat him out there, and everybody in LA was on, I thought that I knew how to record shop. Made that mistake when he was in the hospital, and took records up with a big smile. I've been record shopping. J-Rock took me, actually. And when I took the crate up, and he looked through it, and I think out of a whole milk crate full of 45s, as I was getting them a lot, and I think he might have taken a dozen out of there and set them on the side, and I'm looking like, what is he doing? He said, you can take that back to the house. And I'm like, well, that's all you're gonna work? He said, so. He said, no, that's good. He explained to me once, you look for how many drums, what types of drums, maybe an unusual instrument that was used in a recording, and had the artist been heard before? Because you have, like I said, you have great people doing magnificent work. They just didn't get a chance to get that break. So you miss out if you don't listen,
He he would judge them off the instruments on the back. That was his big thing. He would look and see what people were playing.
See what people
Oh,
were
yeah, because I hated, I would go digging with him. I hated digging with him. I hated digging with him. Oh my
You would
God.
take all day?
Oh my God. I'll be sitting in the truck. I'll be like, yo, I'm going to get food. I'm
And he
going back
come out
to
with
the
one
hood.
record?
No, he come out with a box.
He came out with a box?
every time.
Damn.
And that was a short trip.
Yeah.
A big trip, yeah, it's 3-4 boxes.
12 hour days.
Oh man.
I remember the first album that we bought for him, and he was 3, and we got him Michael Jackson's The Wiz. And of course, you know that vinyl was played like religiously and at all hours. He can sit it with the turntable for many hours at a time without getting up to eat, take a break or anything, even as a young child, because that was all that he absorbed, is all that he wanted to absorb. I was afraid that his interest in music, by being the only thing he did, if he never got a break, what was he going to fall back on? So Davis Arrow Technical School is one of the schools that they take one child that is academically very strong from each school each year. And Dilla was the one. So, like I said, he excelled in everything. He could build instrument panel. He could spot weld incredibly great. So I'm like, you could make a mint. So I thought that was great. You know, he thought it was at first, but he didn't realize that he would not be with friends. And actually, after that first year, he had really turned the school into a dancery because he was DJing at school. They had parties all the time then. He was under the name MC Silk. So because, like I said, I had to bribe him to keep him there, I had to buy different color silk shirts. So he had a different silk shirt every day ready. So that's the price I paid to keep him over there for that while. It took months of myself, my sister, and my niece to put everything in alphabetical order. And when we did the alphabetical order and everything got in sleeves, he personally put the sleeves on each album himself. And after we did all that and we thought we had it made, we were working 8 and 9 hour days at that, you know, doing this here. And he'll come in and he'll say, you got to do these 2 racks over. It's certain ones that a certain artist, they have to go on different shelving, alphabetize those in a different area.
He's like really OCD with it when it comes to the records and everything being clean and neat and organized. Like, he had a closet full of records. I take out one record, you know, like out of all of these records, I put it back. He knew exactly which record it was, but that's how he added to a science, you know.
And I never really understood his organization process at all, but he knew where he could go right to any part and pull a record out at any given time. Like, he used to keep his fridge. Like, everything is, it's like, what was that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy? And she knew that he was coming back to f her up because she opened the cupboards and everything was straight. And she was like, oh my God. That's how Jay's fridge was. Like, it was like, if you move some yeah, you might get an earful.
He took care of his records.
Got him in the sleeve.
He got them still in the sleeve. He don't even have them so you can play them. You got to take it all out. You got to, like, most people put them in at least like this so you can just pull the record out. But nah, he got it like a real record store. Like, nah, I'm gonna know who's messing with my records. Why you messing with my records, man? And Tim Weisberg, I think Dilla actually flipped some Tim Weisberg before, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not, I think he was buying all of his albums. I've never seen this one, so I'm kind of tripping out. That's crazy.
He'd bring Common with him quite a few times, and the Questlove would come quite often with him, and we'd be here till 2, 3 in the morning. I remember him pointing up to a Beach Boys box set, and he said to Questlove, hey, you got that Beach Boys box? And Questlove said, yeah, do I need it? And he goes, yeah, you need that, and give me it, you know, piling up these records. You know, he's up to $3,000 already, but money was no object to these guys because they loved the music and they had the money to spend.
He would clean up the basement. He had a little duster that he would use, and he would dust his albums and his machines and all his work. But he would have a record playing, and he would play the record front to back, both sides, while he cleaned. And somehow, I don't know how he did it, but he would remember exactly where the parts were he wanted to use. And when it was time to work, he would just go back to that part. I'm gonna take this, Frank, and I'm gonna take this over here. And there was some shit on the other side too. I'm gonna take that too.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it was crazy. Like his work, the way he did it. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he could remember everything he remembered.
Sometimes, I remember when he was in LA, sometimes when he would make beats, he would add like a little dot.
He would mark where it was, right?
Yeah, he would mark like what song he wanted to use.
Yeah.
So I'm just seeing if he somehow, some way marked whoever this guy is.
Johnny Tillotson.
Yeah, this is one of my personal favorite records. The ECM record, you know, jazz. As it's German, it's fusion. Yeah, it's fusion jazz, yes. And I don't want to give myself away, but I'm sure that Dilla hit this pretty hard. As a matter of fact, I know that he did because I heard a couple of beats, you know, where he kind of went in on this. Ebenard Weber.
I'd say almost like he had two sides. He could be very compassionate and giving, even to strangers.
He was by far one of the nicest, easiest people to talk to, that I've ever met in my life.
He did care about people, but because of, I guess, how people will come at him and almost want him to give them beats without regard to his time or energy, or if he thought that you really weren't qualified to mess with it or shouldn't be doing it, like his dad would say, this is not your occupation, kind of thing.
He had a short fuse on some people, even if you're the homie. He had a short fuse on the homies. If you're f***ing up, you know, he would definitely let it be known. If you were bugging him, calling him a lot, bugging him.
On the other hand, he got stronger, I guess, from the knocks of coming along in that industry. And he became outright just belligerent at times, you know. He never backed down. That's one thing about him. We would get neck and neck sometimes, but you know, he was never disrespectful. He just was like, I'm gonna do my music. Whatever you do, you just have to do it because I'm gonna do my music. And that's where we were.
He was the most respectful, the most gentleman-like kid that I had coming to my house, because everybody else was wild, just on the wild, and he was the only one that seemed to have integrity. And you know, if he said he was coming at 3 o'clock, he came at 3 o'clock. And a lot of people don't get that. Your word is everything. His word is bond. So another one that describes Dilla is word is bond.
Jay Dilla did a remix for Macy Gray.
I Try.
I Try. And Common heard that beat and what it turned into.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. With light on it, joint with light.
Breaking. One of my favorite movies too, man. Breaking.
Jay Dilla was a collector, as you can see. He bought everything.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
94
cents.
There's some heat on that though.
Oh yeah, come on now.
9.5.
What you know about 99.5? Come on, man. That's the best song. That's the best song on here. Reckless, Ice-T is on here.
Reckless, yes. I was a bigger fan of the second record.
Definitely, this is one album that I'm kind of surprised he has. But we used to have good conversations about old hip hops.
No, he's definitely
He was
hip hop
ahead,
head.
yeah, he was
definitely hip hop
ahead.
head.
He would make me CDs when I would leave the house, and whatever hip-hop conversation we had that day, that's what the name of the CD was. So if we were talking about UTFO, when I leave the house, here you go, J-Rod, it'd be Mixmaster Ice.
Yeah.
But then we have... What a contrast.
No, but before that, he didn't even open this though. He was like, nah, I don't even need to open Faith right now. Actually, there's a rumor that he did a Faith remix.
What's the name?
Yeah, I did hear that.
He did a Faith remix.
There was a Faith remix.
He was supposed to.
Never came out? No.
Yeah, he was supposed to work with Faith, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's made a couple tracks with Faith in mind.
This is the famous picture. This was done the week after his passing, And the artists here are a collaboration. James Poyser, Questlove, Erykah Badu. Her signature is the hearts. Okay, if you see the hearts, different places, and the angel with wings, that's Erykah. They were also Aquarians. And Dilla, Questlove, all the guys, Q-Tip, all of them were so Aquarians, and they just got together and did this portrait, and I guess had their own little, tribute. Music is love. Ain't nothing real but love. Wow. Then you know who did it, don't you? Erykah. That's Erykah. That's exactly what she would say.
He only came to LA with the MP, and that was basically it. And then whatever Otis would buy him and whatever else he would buy at Guitar Center, they were buying little stupid shit. He was in the hospital that whole time, and then when he got out, he was so excited. He got out, and he was at the house, and they sent him this. And he hit me up, J-Rock, I got the Moog back, man. I'm back in business, baby. I was like, come on, man, what? It was on the TV tray. I just gotta look at it once.
That's still the same, B. It's the real deal.
He was so excited. He was about to start killing it with this. He's like, I got the keyboard back. He was waiting for this. Super dope. And this keyboard is on a lot of beats. This was his seasoning for his beats. He'd find a sample, but he would still play this on the beats, and then sometimes he would just play this and find a little sample to play with, man.
And bass lines.
And bass lines.
A lot of bass lines.
Man, yeah, I used to always trip on and be like, Dilla, man.
So he probably made that that Jack Davies joint on it. Do-do-do-do-do.
Everything was, yeah. Yeah, this is the baby right here, man. He was super excited for this to.
This is a picture right here of T3 and Dilla, very early. This was sent to me with a sympathy card from Eminem and Paul Rosenberg. I didn't even open it or take it out of the frame until, I guess it might have been a couple of years before I even realized that I hadn't opened it. And it was very precious then because I realized how young he was then. And it could have been in the Am Fiddler's basement, I don't know.
And the last piece I'm gonna talk about, just so y'all must know that this is some serious shit.
No doubt.
This is from the hospital. I mean,
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is what he had to wear sometimes. Yeah, I'm good. He had to wear this sometimes, and he was gonna use this for the cover of The Shining.
Yeah.
This was gonna be on, he was gonna do that crazy shit.
He found a way to make it work for him, you know what I mean? You knew he was gonna do that.
He's like, hey, J-Rock, man. Aw, come on, man. So he was like, yo, J-Rock, man, we go, I know you here, I see you, man. He was like, I'm gonna use this, J-Rock. What you think, man? I'm like, man, come on, man. That's funny. You go do, man, I'm in here, I might as well, man. Ma Dukes, go get that mask so I can show J-Rock what I'm talking about real quick. And then he was making donuts with all this, man. He was going through it, man. He was going through it.
Died for this music.
You said he was in the hospital for like a year, right?
He was in the hospital for about 8 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like, not moving. Couldn't leave the room. Ain't no get up and go for a walk or ain't none of that shit. It was like, you show up, Ma Dukes was already there chilling. Oh, you here? I'm gonna go take a break. All right, I'll see you later. And it was just him in the bed with a sampler right here and stack of 45s and whatever we would bring him. Like we would show up, bring him, oh man, Madlib, let's go bring him some records, or Egon, or Yo Wolf, what you got for him? Or anybody that was in the House Shoes came from the D, brought him some everybody was coming out for him. That's real right there. He's here. What up, Jay? What up, man?
The whole thing about this is to let people be aware of what he has done for the music. He pretty much gave his life. He gave his life. I mean, I don't know too many people myself that would be laying up in a hospital near death and still be able to create. You know, you'd be thinking about other things, you know, but as you can see, he lived this. This is something that he lived, and this is why we are pretty much just being soldiers and messengers of his life, and you know, just trying to show the world that he was a very important figure in this music thing. You know, it's serious. It's real serious, man.
How would you describe Dilla in 3 words?
I would say dedicated,
unpredictable,
strong.
Inspiration.
The other one would be funky.
He's a genius.
He's the best.
Passion.
The beat maker.
The best beats.
Scientific.
One thing he used to always say is, come on, man.
And purity.
Compassionate.
I'm gonna change my 3 words. I miss you. That's my 3 words.